Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Back to talk about great professional wrestling, the ins, the outs, the behind the scenes, the in the ring. Our brand new Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays begins now.
Did I not predict what would happen? Why watch it when you already know the answer? And where I was on Saturday afternoon, I made another prediction.
What was the other one?
I said I wouldn't be surprised if you see Brock Lesnar. And who came and beat the living shit out of him after the show? Brock Lesnar. Same 10 guys, same thing all over again. You know what? The product, the writing, it's got to change.
Tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s WrestleFest, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Wrestling fans, we've told you that we have a new Tuesday night coming for you for our 20th anniversary beginning September 7th when Boston Wrestling MWF goes extreme. Sunday night, August the 29th, one of the rotating superstars joining us will be former ECW World Champion Justin Credible, coming to MWF Studios for the first time for Wrestling Insiders Extreme tapings, plus a live episode and Cyber autograph signing. Joining New Jack, Justin Credible brings a brand new edge to Tuesday nights. Interested in joining us live? Boston Wrestling Patreon family members can join us for free. For information, visit patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Fans anywhere in the world can join us for the live episode and Cyber autograph signing. For more, visit bostonwrestling.com. Wrestling fans, it's time to rock. WWE legend Marty Jannetty of the Rockers returns for 3 big nights, Wednesday, September the 1st through Friday, September the 3rd. Marty will be taping historical Wrestling Insider episodes, live specials, and Cyber autograph signings. Support wrestling superstars. Pre-order autographed 8x10s now over at bostonwrestling.com. This September, get your sunglasses ready. It's time to party with Marty.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, Dan Marty, John Cena Sr. here. A brand new time slot for us, Johnny. There is so much going on Friday nights. Why try and make the fans choose? We can be, again, our goal has always been to kind of be the post-game show for the Major League Professional Wrestling of the night, and where AEW has been so successful, which we'll talk about momentarily.
Sure.
Much like we do with Oscar on Monday night, we premiere his show at 11 after Raw, so it kind of made sense to me, especially on Friday night when people are kind of relaxing after a hard week's work. You know, they can check out Fabulous Fridays at 11, or even on Saturday morning, late night when they get home from a bar, however they want to do it.
Works for me. Hopefully it'll work for you.
Because you're fabulous, baby. That's what Majo told me, at least. I don't know when Mrs. is coming back to the USA Network, but big week ahead, Johnny. We have former ECW World Champion Justin Credible coming in on Sunday Night Live for the very first time. Wrestling Insider Extreme. We are taking Tuesday nights in a whole new direction. As you know, we had the series finale of the former show that was in that slot. So beginning September 7th, we are going to be going to the world of Extreme. We have those great episodes already produced with New Jack. And for those of you that loved ECW, that lived for ECW, we're going to try and bring you a weekly series with the superstars, the people, the surroundings, the circumstances about that great era. For those that thought it was a great era in professional wrestling, Johnny, were you an ECW guy?
I was. I enjoyed ECW. Paul Heyman did a wonderful job. A lot of times when the boys that come in to do the shows, they stay at my house afterwards and leave the next day. Great group of guys. Instead of going to the hotel, why not?
Are you talking about the WWE version of ECW?
I'm talking ECW.
Back in the 90s?
That's right. Ask Justin Incredible. He'll tell you about. He remembers.
Whoa.
He remembers staying over.
Well, see, I didn't know you then. But you used to go to the ECW live events when they were in town?
Absolutely. I
Really?
would miss those for unbelievable.
Over at Wonderland?
Yeah, I'd go every
Or
time.
Waltham?
Yeah,
or?
they were in New Hampshire. They were all over the place.
I had no idea.
Yep. They were my favorite group of people. That was real wrestling. Let me tell you, that was something you would never, ever, ever just sit back and go, wow, I don't believe they're doing this.
I think the biggest problem with ECW was they almost took it to the extreme, no pun intended. I think there was only so far they could go with blood and guts and violence until, okay, how do we top this? I mean, do we cut off someone's head with an axe?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
At some point, you can't keep topping what you've already done.
No,
I mean, look at those dives. New Jack almost died. He
Right off the
did
balcony.
a 30-foot dive off of a balcony. I mean, at what point was it, if it didn't end on its own, what would they have done? I mean, some have suggested they would have tried to revolutionize the wheel and go the quote-unquote indie style of today with a lot of high spot wrestling as opposed to the hardcore style wrestling. Maybe they would have been the first to have tried that. You know, you look back at that, a very underrated series they had with Jerry Lynn and Rob Van Dam.
Yep.
I could see them maybe trying to build up the promotion that way, where at its peak, when it was, as far as the quality of the events was at its peak, you know, it was in the middle of the Monday Night Wars, and WWF and WCW were going head-to-head with Raw and Nitro. Everybody was looking for talent. Paul Heyman really didn't have the luxury of being able to afford too many high six-figure contracts with what they were pulling in from the ECW arena and, you know, Wonderland Greyhound Park and Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania, and some of the other places they went. And then, you know, they wound up getting a video game deal, which was huge. They wound up getting on TNN, which later became Spike TV, which was almost a slap in the face at them. They were almost used to try and get the attention of the pretty girl in WWF, when WWF wound up on TNN a year later for a monster contract compared to what ECW was making, which left ECW without a home, which left ECW without a TV show, which left ECW without any television revenue.
Without
and
any
within
money.
4 months, it was c'est la vie.
Goodbye.
And Vince bought it for pennies on the dollar. And I tell you, the money they made with that library, then turning it into the WWECW on Sci-Fi.
Horrible.
It wasn't much to write home about.
Horrible.
You remember the Abraham Washington show?
Yep.
Yeah, that was the home of that.
Yep.
But I think it's going to be an interesting series. I think we're going to have some interesting people. I know James Mitchell kind of creeps you out and makes you feel a little
Good man.
odd.
He's got a-
So we got some cool stuff coming up on Tuesday nights. It's a new Tuesday for a new season,
Just incredible.
for a new decade for us.
What a guy. I've worked several shows with that man.
Well,
Going to be very interesting, let me tell you.
Yes.
Very interesting.
and then you want to talk about interesting, Johnny. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, as we noted, the man that said he learned every party trick he knew from John Cena Sr., the man that taught him how to rock, watching his old VHS home videos from back in the 70s, Marty Jannetty returns.
God bless Marty.
God bless me.
Well, God bless Marty. I can't wait to see that. I can't wait.
I am happy to have our friend back. He is in good spirits. He is further removed from those 2 surgeries that he had. So I think it's going to be a really interesting series of interviews, as we always have. And for you guys, not only do we have Just Incredible live Sunday night, but on Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to have Marty live for Cyber Autograph signing. So we're going to have, hopefully, a lot of fun.
Going to be great.
Now, Johnny, I know earlier you were very impressed with my lady attention gravitating scent that I had.
Eau de Cologne.
No, not cologne. That's right here, baby. I got it
What?
right here on the set.
What is it?
It is the sexy as hell strawberry lemonade bay spray. Now, I don't know if you've been using this to try and attract Margot Oulette, but JTG, I call him the walking QVC with all the different products he's wisely trying to develop to continue to, have life and income outside of being stuck to professional wrestling. He said he wants to pimp me up and make me John Cena the third. I think that'd be kind of impossible, or maybe the 6th Cena. He said he's going to up my pimp game.
Nobody wants to see you.
He said me and you are going to be in competition
No
for some of
thanks.
these women.
Nobody wants to see you.
They want to see you.
No. I don't know about that either,
They
but
want to see you.
I had a great time at the Kowloon.
Well, you want to talk about that for a minute?
Later on, we'll talk about it whenever you
Well, we'll
want.
talk about, again,
I
folks,
love that.
if you want
That's-
some information on JTG and his great products, we have it all over our social media, all over the platforms. I tell you this, strawberry lemonade, who would have ever thought that would make for such a nice scent for a body spray for a guy? I didn't want to, I'll give you,
Wow.
spray a little on your
Wow.
wrist if you want.
Wow. It's very simple ingredients.
Well, don't give away the recipe,
I'm
Johnny.
not.
Come on now.
But it's on the label.
Well, I guess anyone can get it then if they buy a bottle.
The trick to this,
Yeah.
The trick to this, my friend, is the fragrance.
Yeah.
And he's got it down perfect.
I received the highest of
Wow.
compliments from a very attractive individual as a result of
Very
this.
clean, fresh
Yeah,
smelling.
that's one thing about it. It's very fresh.
I
It
get-
almost feels like you're getting out of the shower when you put it
Yeah,
on.
it's great stuff.
Yeah. So JTG's done an exceptional job. He is yet another one of the rotating hosts. He's going to be with us every week from mid-October as we head into the big MWF Boston Wrestling 20th anniversary Back to the 80s WrestleFest, Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose. So Jay is taking quite an immersive look into things here in Boston wrestling. I think the episodes with him have been great. Even though I've got, I think, maybe 3 years on him, we both became fans right around the same time because his mom was a fanatic in New York, and even at 2 years old, taking him to the MSG house shows. And so him and I, instead of sometimes quote-unquote historical episodes, we just chew the fat and talk wrestling sometimes, and I think the fans have liked it. Again, you know what? The idea with these Wrestling Insider series is they have variety. I love historical episodes. Current event episodes can be interesting too. And again, you hate to use I just based on our demographics, more of a guy show than a female show, but there's nothing wrong with that.
I think we appeal to both.
Well, if you looked at the numbers, I know you may. Well, I'm not. I won't even make that joke. But you appeal to everyone, Johnny, because you are fabulous.
Thank you.
But I know the women that do tune in, they can't resist.
Thank you.
I mean, we've even had people, females, offering money for articles of your clothing.
Now I know he's smoking something.
All right, Johnny. Well, before we get into all the big news in wrestling, on SummerSlam Saturday afternoon, you had quite the interesting experience at the world-famous Kowloon Entertainment Dining Complex, where we had our holiday headlocks dinner several years back. What were you doing up at Kowloon, old Johnny Cash over there?
Old Johnny Cash was up there with some big stars were up there. One of your former wrestling people was there, Eddie Edwards.
Oh, was he?
Hopefully he'll be showing up for the 13th. We'll see what happens with that. Francine was there.
Of ECW fans.
Enzo Amore was there.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't realize it
yeah.
turned into such a big thing.
Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack
Well, yeah.
Ryder. Jack Hawkins was there. It was
Correct.
a great day. Andy Wong and the Wong family, I can only say thank you. The hospitality shown to all of us was above and beyond what anybody could expect.
Was Andy
by the
throwing
Kowloon.
chops?
Andy was there, boy.
Was he
I'll tell you.
throwing chops?
No chops. He was there doing his stuff. Let me tell you, I can't thank him enough.
You know what he told me? He said, well, it's no secret now that Kowloon is trying to, reinvent the property over the next couple of years. He said he actually wanted to go to one of the local wrestling schools, and he wanted to get into the industry as Ricky the Dragon Kowloon.
Your jokes are not funny. You heard me say that right here, folks. His jokes are not funny.
We could relive Randy Savage and the Dragon.
I'm going to say this. It was a great time. Sold out. That show sold out in 5 minutes. Sold out.
In 5 minutes?
5 minutes, there were no tickets left.
Wow.
5 minutes, that show was gone.
Now, could you eat? I mean, could you get food while the show was going
They
on?
had food there, Andy.
So it was kind of like
restaurant-
Bruce's?
Right.
Yep.
You could buy food, buy drinks. The Kowloon fed the boys and the ladies back there was unbelievable. It was just so much fun to be with a lot of the fellows and ladies that I had worked with in the past, have not had a chance to catch up with. Some new faces I hadn't seen. It was just unbelievable. And all I can say to the fans, all I can say to Matt and Kurt and those involved, thank you for allowing me part of it. I didn't think they knew John Cena Sr.
Everybody knows
But I got to
John
tell you
Cena
something.
Sr.
Thank you for the response. Thank you for the kindness. And you'll be seeing more of John Cena Sr.
Did you bring any women with you?
Nope.
You went solo?
Solo.
Now, how many women came on to you?
None. I'll be very honest with you.
What about Francine?
I did what I had to do. She's very kind, very nice.
Yeah.
She's a married woman.
Oh, all right. Well,
She's remembered me from a signing we did in New Jersey, New York. Mr. Cena, she said, are you still doing conventions and signings? Yep, I am. And I just tell you, it was a great, great feeling. And I did what I had to do, what I was asked to do. I did not stay for autographs after.
why?
I didn't think I was needed for that.
Did you bring any 8x10s?
I brought my Fabo Bucks, which everybody, if you see, I've got it right on my phone. You can see it's all over Matt's Instagram, Facebook. It's all out there. People were crying, Fabo Bucks. We got Fabo Bucks out there. And I was informed or asked where I was because several individuals, more than several, I guess, wanted to take photos and pictures and get autographs with J-Fab, John Cena Sr.
Yet another reason for the fans to be there live Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall.
Yep.
Up close and personal with a wide variety of the good stuff, baby. Who needs champagne when you got a little Fabo pop, baby?
It'll be there. My whole thing was, but it was a great time. Great
Now,
time.
what do they do? Do they primarily talk about action figures about the show?
No. It was a completely different setup. They all three went out, and they basically everybody was assuming it's going to be a podcast. Didn't work out that way. They introduced, one of the wrestlers from New England, well known, Eddie Edwards. Man, he was out there. The Queen of Extreme, Francine. So it really wasn't this sit down with headphones.
What was it that they were doing? Was it interviews or?
Everybody come out, did their thing.
But what was the thing, I guess, is what I'm trying
Whatever
to get
they had asked you to do.
What did you do?
I just came out, and there's a young man there who was going to be going over to AEW. I just came out, did my thing, and then they asked for a few words, and then I just raised his hand. And my comment was, "The champ is here," and that was it. That was it.
You get your spot in.
I would do what I was told. It's like wrestling. You know what? When the promoter says job, you job. When the promoter says win, you win. So you're in charge.
Fair enough. All
I'd
right,
do it again.
In a heartbeat.
In a
We've had I know I've had a lot of fun doing Bruce's shows, and you did too.
Yep.
So I imagine, would you put it on par with Bruce's show?
I think it was on par with Bruce's show, if not a little higher.
Wow.
Completely different shows. And I compliment Bruce because his show is not what Matt's show is.
Yeah, they're different,
Not
yeah.
like Foley's show is. So when you ask me to rate that, it's a little higher than Bruce's because it's a completely different product. Put Pritchard up against somebody else that's doing the show. Pritchard gets 150.
Yeah.
This guy gets 110. Pritchard's on top. So two different types of products, but I had a hell of a time.
All right, wrestling fans, right now we are going to take a brief timeout. When we come back, we'll dive into a world of professional wrestling that is nonstop, day in, day out. So much happening right about now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tickets are on sale now at BostonWrestling.com for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s WrestleFest, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. The World Wrestling Federation was live at the Providence Civic Center in Providence, Rhode Island, Sunday, August the 27th, 1989. In the opening contest, Tim Horner beat Boris Zukov. Brutus the Barber Beefcake battled WWF Intercontinental Champion Ravishing Rick Rude to a draw. Mr. Perfect with the win over Hercules. Superfly Jimmy Snuka defeated the Honky Tonk Man. The Bushwhackers victorious over the Powers of Pain via disqualification. Widowmaker Barry Windham beat Paul Roma. And in the main event, Macho Man Randy Savage with the win over WWF World Champion Hulk Hogan via countout. If you were in Providence live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our world-renowned Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstars, shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Wrestling fans, we've told you that we have a new Tuesday night coming for you for our 20th anniversary beginning September 7th when Boston Wrestling MWF goes extreme. Sunday night, August the 29th, one of the rotating superstars joining us will be former ECW World Champion Justin Credible, coming to MWF Studios for the first time for Wrestling Insiders Extreme tapings, plus a live episode and Cyber autograph signing. Joining New Jack, Justin Credible brings a brand new edge to Tuesday nights. Interested in joining us live? Boston Wrestling Patreon family members can join us for free. For information, visit patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Fans anywhere in the world can join us for the live episode and Cyber autograph signing. For more, visit bostonwrestling.com.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. If you ever have a chance to see that Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins traveling show, sounds like it's a heck of a lot of fun. I don't know if it'll be as much fun as we're going to have November the 13th, but then again, we're celebrating 2 decades. They haven't got to that place yet.
I don't know, but they're coming back in this next summer.
Are they really?
They're coming back.
Well, you know what? Maybe we'll invite them down here, too, to promote the show when they're here. Why not?
Yep.
That's what I like about this show. You know, everyone says we're WWE, we're WWE, we're WWE. We're pro anybody that's good pro wrestling, I think.
I agree.
That's the way I've always looked at it.
I like that.
I have no discrimination against anyone. If it's bad pro wrestling, I want nothing to do with it.
Well,
but if it's good people and good pro wrestling, that's what this studio is all about, in my humble opinion.
Well,
not that I ever was humbled by Sheiky Baby.
If the show or the wrestling is bad, we call it like we see it.
We do.
I do, and you do too. So.
Well, we got a new wrestling show to talk about, Johnny. AEW Rampage. They got a little nervous. Tony Khan and TNT executives were worried about going head-to-head with us Friday nights at 10 p.m. So, you know, we didn't want to put the pressure on them, so we decided to move to 11.
I'm glad you're chuckling because I'm sure Tony Khan wasn't worried about John Cena Sr. or Dan Marty.
Well, I think I put out feelers about bringing you into Dynamite October 27th here in Boston, but I unfortunately had to break the news that you were going to be at Halloween Horror Nights.
I would love to have been there. I really will. Justin Roberts texted me, found out how things are going, and I'm sure he would have texted me, let me know when they were coming in. I'm sorry to miss AEW. I hopefully will be able to catch the next show when they're in the area. I'm so looking forward to it.
I think you'll enjoy it. I know I did. It had a different feel. If nothing else, it had a different feel, and it was a different experience than what is usually a great WWE live experience. But sometimes different can be good. And you know what? That's to take nothing away from the outstanding productions that WWE live television tapings and pay-per-views can be. It's nothing to take away from what I think are my favorites, the WWE non-televised events. You know how much I love those.
I like those better than the televised.
Because it's usually solid, good wrestling from beginning to end with very little in the ways of skits and vignettes. You get the meat. You get the meat bit. No appetizer,
Nope.
No dessert.
Nope.
You get the meat,
A
baby.
little dessert in there sometime. There's a little in
Well,
there.
that's what Marjo said.
Oh,
but that's a
God. Here we
different
go.
story for a different
All right.
time. But AEW Rampage, Johnny, the first 2 episodes, we haven't had a chance to watch the one from tonight. But what smart way to kick off the series. You have Kenny Omega, the AEW, the Impact Wrestling champion, the AAA champion down in Mexico against Christian Cage. Puts the Impact Wrestling Championship on the line. Bada bing, bada boom.
Loses.
Christian Cage is the new Impact Wrestling champion, a title he held under the auspices of TNA when he was there between 2005 and 2008. I think, in some ways, Impact benefits from it. I think Kenny Omega is one of the great wrestlers in pro wrestling right now. I think, Kenny competed here in Boston Wrestling back in 2005. But I think if you were to talk to the average Joe on the street, I think Christian Cage may have more name value. I think he's better known. He's been around the block.
Name recognition.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
I agree.
And he has a great history in Impact Wrestling.
I
So
agree.
I think it was win-win for everybody. I think Kenny Omega went in and did a very serviceable job trying to enhance what Impact Wrestling was doing. And now Impact, not only do they have someone that is, if not equal, more name value right now, someone that has a great history within that organization. So what not just a great way to kick off the series, but the opening match on the series to try and capture people's attention.
I agree. That was a great show. Great show.
Well, and we can only hope that that helps Impact going along, as Impact, as we've noted, by hook or by crook, for all the people that write them off as they're going to die, they're not going to be around much longer. 19 years after the fact, Impact Wrestling is still alive.
They got to beef it up a little bit. There's a little bit of massaging to do there. The talent, the work, the product, it's good, but I just think they've got to beef that up. You know what the problem is now? Now you've got 3 choices. You're really up against it, and I think that Tony Khan has made a smart decision. Aligning himself with New Japan Pro, aligning himself with Impact. I think that's the smart way to grow.
It's like the old NWA, all the different
that's
territories.
a smart way to grow.
yeah.
It's a smart way to go and grow. So we'll see what happens. I'm interested.
I am too. And then week 2 of AEW, probably one of the biggest news stories of 2021, the return of an old partner, a friend of yours, man that you held, Daniel Bryan, and you gave him some chops. Talking about the one, the only, the man that almost blew the roof off of the United Center, sold out in Chicago. CM Punk, he's back. Some people doubted it would happen, but he's back.
Well, I always said CM Punk, Phil Brooks, is a very smart individual, very talented individual. He will analyze and make sure that it's what he wants, not for the money. And I mean that. I think he and his wife have done very well. They continue to do very well. But Phil loves the sport. He loves professional wrestling. And I think he made a decision that AEW was the place where he had creative freedom. He'd be working full-time now. He's not going to be this part-time jobber. He's going to be there full-time. I think the fans have a lot to look forward to, but let's see how he's used, and let's see where it goes from there.
I think they were very smart in not having him have a physical altercation with another wrestler on night 1. Let it simmer.
Sit in the middle of the ring, do his pipe bomb stuff, and let it go from there. I watched that. That was interesting. Again, the fans, many fans commented on that. Some were positive, others were negative. So let's see how it goes. It's a 50-50 split.
I thought it was nice in the media appearance that he did after the show. He said,
Yes.
and at the end of the day, it really came down to his 2 decisions were AEW or our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s event at Memorial Hall. And unfortunately, he chose AEW, but it was nice to know we were in the running.
Well, you know, I can tell you this, Mr. I'm only kidding. I found from a couple of the wrestlers that I was with back at the Kowloon for Matt's show and Kurt's show, AEW and Impact wrestlers are allowed to work the indie circuit.
Many of them.
So if you want
Many of
CM
them,
Punk,
yeah.
put your money where your mouth is.
Well,
there you
I
go,
think he's a
fans.
little A little out of the price range. A little out of the price range
well,
for that event.
We might be able to get somebody else.
Hey, that's a different story for a different time as we continue to get closer, although it is amazing now that we're just about 11 weeks away. 11 weeks away from our baby. 2 decades. My little baby. My little baby's growing, Johnny. It's almost old enough to drink.
Okay, folks.
But I tell you, what a reaction. One of the great reactions I think wrestling fans will ever see from when he came out at that United Center. You know, he kind of reenacted the pipe bomb promo a little bit, just sitting in the middle of the ring, chit-chatting with 15,000 of his neighbors in Chicago. You know, AEW, you wonder, I don't think their original game plan was to go after so many WWE known commodities. I think they wanted to try and take and cultivate younger talent from the independents and try and make them their own and brand them their own. But, you know, they walked into Andrade Almas, who I think, to me, should be one of Raw's main or WWE's main event heels right now.
Yep.
Aleister Black is Malachi Black. They've
what
done
a
more with
loss.
him in 3 weeks than WWE did the entire time he was
there. I agree with that.
CM Punk now, well, obviously CM Punk hasn't been around WWE lately, but, you know, Daniel Bryan apparently is going to be debuting soon. I think it was very smart that they held off on that. I would not have had him debut the same night as Punk. I would save Bryan for when they're going to have 2 big back-to-back weeks in the New York City area. I would save Bryan for one of those 2 shows to debut. One man's opinion.
No, I agree with that.
On Halloween, Bray Wyatt becomes a free agent and eligible to sign with any promotion he wants.
I can't wait.
You think about this, the AEW has a pay-per-view the second Saturday in November.
I can't wait.
Now, what do you think about that? The
I
potential of Bray Wyatt in
Bray
AEW.
Wyatt at AEW with no limits on what he does or the character. Sit back, brother. Get ready for the ride. You're going to see the new Undertaker.
I'm interested into how they can or will bring him to life. Would they call him Wyndham Rotundo with a dark look? Would they try and come up with some kind of horror, nightmarish scenario look for him? You know, he has teased certain things on social media, but I think that's all sometimes those things can be. Social media teases to try and get people talking, but the human being himself is going to add a lot to that product if he chooses to go to AEW.
I think he will. I think he will. He'd be foolish not to. I think he'd be foolish not to. WWE owns the name Bray Wyatt.
Right. And Fiend.
And what?
And Fiend.
And Fiend?
Fiend.
Yeah, Fiend, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there's always a way around that. Bray may be the name. They don't own Wyatt. So pick any name you want. Fiend may be the name, but it's an open field when you get to that. So I think there's a ton of ways around this thing. I think that they made the biggest mistake of their life when they let Bray Wyatt go for whatever reason. Nobody tried to retain him. It was just see
It's not that nobody tried to retain him. It's not like he was a free agent. They threw him out like garbage.
Well,
They released, other than Roman Reigns, like I said, I would say he was probably, I would have thought, the most bulletproof person they had.
apparently not, because
He's someone, when you go to the live events and you open your ears and pay attention to the fans, he's someone that they were paying to go to see. And right now, when, let's be kind, WWE isn't at its highest popularity peak, well, going on 2 decades now, but, you know, Bray Wyatt was someone the fans were interested in seeing. He was an experience in and of itself. His entrance, his music, his matches, the fans wanted to experience that. It was like an Undertaker-like entrance.
Thank you.
And they took that away from the fans for no real reason. This is a company that is making record profits, Johnny, each and every quarter. They're breaking their own records, and yet they continue to throw out high-quality talent like they're nothing. And I saw an interview with Nick Khan, the new president, who I have a lot of respect for the man. He comes across as very smart, very intelligent. The things he says make sense, but when it comes down to the execution of some of the moves, They say they're worried about not the past, but the present and the future. Aleister Black couldn't be part of the present and the future. Andrade in his early 30s couldn't be part of the present and the future. Bray Wyatt wasn't a part of the present, never mind the future. Strowman couldn't be at least part of the present. I mean, I know he's probably pushing 40. He's closer to 40 than 30.
Where's he headed?
Isn't that something that really, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of an awkward, Howard's given us the old signal there, which means we got a couple minutes before break. But, I mean, isn't that something? A guy that pinned Billy Goldberg to end WrestleMania 36. They went off the air with WrestleMania with him as the champion. Now, a year and a half later, doesn't even have a place to go. It's crazy to me. I don't know if it's crazy to you.
They made a lot of dumb moves, like nobody 30 or over will ever be hired. That's stupid. Talent comes in different packages in different ways. Boogeyman's an example. Strowman's an example. I think you can't close your eyes to that. If I were to analyze the situation, I don't care what anybody says. You only clean house the way they're cleaning it because, as Khan says, we're not actively seeking, but we're always open. Whatever's good for business. They're actively looking for a buyer.
Well, getting rid of so many talents in their primes, in their peaks, there is no positive to that.
No.
All it's going to do is turn off your fan base. Why disappoint fans when, before coronavirus, live event business was very flat, if not going down, declining? Why take away stars that fans enjoyed?
Same 10 wrestlers every week, over and over and over and over. You know what? Eventually, it's like going to the hometown buffet. You get pretty tired of the food and you stop going. And that's exactly what's going to happen with WWE. The people are getting tired. You have new blood now. AEW, Impact can make a comeback. New Japan Pro in the United States? Are you kidding me? Hang on. You know what? You used to be the only furniture store on the street, but guess what? Competition is out there. I don't give a damn what anybody says. WWE, and I have a lot of respect for WWE, the chairman of the board, but you know what? You got competition.
Well, wrestling fans, let us know what you think. If you're watching the premiere of tonight's episode, the little premiere chat box is live. Your thoughts are always welcome. We like to know what you like about what's going on in AEW, some of these WWE releases, and anything going on in the King of Sports. Of course, the little super chat button under that is always open. Help us keep the lights on. As we noted, we have 4 big days of tapings coming up with Just Incredible, and then 3 with Marty, plus 3 live specials for you. Every Sunday night through mid-October, we're going to be live. And one thing we want to keep in mind, folks, and hopefully this guy maybe even come down for it, on Sunday night, September the 26th, our official 20th anniversary weekend, which is kind of cool, we're going to be having, of course, our Extreme Rules watch-along. But our great friend a few doors down, Jack Sy of Red Rose, is going to present a feast and a half. I'm still full from last weekend. And we're going to have our Big Corners Cure raffle, where one lucky fan will win anywhere from 6 to 12 autographed NXT posters. For more information on that, check it out.
Cheer. Why, hello. I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
Here's your chance to own a piece of history from the 2020 WWE Draft. On the second night, October the 12th, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Alexa Bliss unleashed hell on Andrade and Zelina Vega. This limited edition 11x14 collector's poster is number 26 of only 50 made, personally signed by both The Fiend and Alexa Bliss, direct from friends at WWE. Comes with certificate of authenticity hologram on the poster itself, suitable for framing. You'll also receive a bonus autographed mystery photo and an on-air shout-out as our thanks to you. Get this ultra-rare autographed Fiend and Alexa Bliss poster now. Wrestling fans, especially here in the Boston area, we want to thank our great friends at Red Rose for their support for all of our charitable endeavors and programming efforts. Red Rose is 2 years young and extremely thankful for all the support they've had from our neighbors here in Melrose and beyond for an amazing first 2 years. Red Rose thanks Melrose and all of the first responders who have fought the good fight and have never given up hope during these unprecedented times. We did it together. Follow Red Rose on Facebook for their anniversary special, facebook.com/Red Rose Melrose. You'll be glad you did. Open until 2 a.m. Red Rose will give you fresh, piping hot, mouth-watering food that'll put an ear-to-ear smile on even the toughest critic's face. Check out their full menu online at redrosema.com or give them a call, 781-620-1889.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays in our new 11 p.m. time slot. You know what? We didn't want Tony Khan and AEW getting too nervous going head-to-head with you, so we decided
a little nervous. I get the Fabo bucks. He's got the real bucks, but you know what? We're both billionaires.
Well, I know the father was interested in having you down and maybe buying into the Jaguars football team in the NFL. One thing you haven't bought yet is a Major League Sports franchise.
I'm not interested in football.
You don't want to buy
I
it?
don't watch football, don't watch baseball, don't watch basketball. I do enjoy hockey.
You're a hockey guy.
I love it.
Really? A Bruins guy?
I don't care who's playing.
Did I ever tell you that Johnny McKenzie and I almost went at it?
Another story for another time.
It's a true story, though.
Okay.
All right. Discombobulated for a second, but this past Saturday, Johnny, it was WWE's biggest party of the summer. They claimed over 50,000 strong at Allegiant Stadium in one of my favorite places, what we look at behind us on each and every episode, Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. I'll say this, from a production point of view, what a great spectacle they put together.
I heard it was a spectacle, but I also heard it wasn't that good a show.
Well...
No, I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it at all?
I didn't watch it at all. No, sir.
Did you see any social media clips?
I did not. Not interested.
Really?
Not interested.
Really? You weren't even seeing the fruit of your loins compete?
Wait a minute. You know, here's where I get in trouble again. Here's where I get in trouble.
All right.
Did I not predict what would happen? Why watch it when you already know the answer? And where I was on Saturday afternoon, I made another prediction.
What was the other one?
I said I wouldn't be surprised if you see Brock Lesnar. And who came and beat the living shit out of him after the show? Brock Lesnar. Same 10 guys, same thing all over again. You know what? The product, the writing, it's got to change.
Stale.
It's very stale. I hate to say it, folks, but you know what? I'm a big, big fan of the WWE. I really, it's my family. It's a family. And when I get hurt...
Families can get stale, too.
And when that does, you've got to do something to bring it back together. So now we've got Lesnar, we've got the head of the table. Please, you know what? Want me to predict that one, too? It's not good when the fans can sit here and make the outcome. You realize that on that SmackDown show before SummerSlam, you had fans wondering if John Cena Jr. was going to win that title. Do you know how they kiboshed it?
I'm leaving WWE if I don't
Right
win.
there. As soon as he put his hand out and said, I'll go one better. If I lose, I'll leave WWE. Okay, so Cena loses. Why tune in? You know what I would have done with that? I'd have had Cena win. And then what I'd have done is, there was no contract, there was no writing. Paul Heyman's got his attorneys. He's still in WWE, and he's still head of the table. And then I would have had Big E cash in. Well, wait a minute. And then I would have had Brock Lesnar take the title off of E. You know what? There's so many ideas, and I'm not the greatest writer in the world, but you know what? I think professional wrestling, I think like a fan, I think in a storyline fashion. At least the storyline with Cena and my friend Reigns went 30 days. Longer than anything else, and it had a point. It started to get good. It's just too bad there wasn't more time.
That 1, 2, 3 promo he did was phenomenal. It made you think that even though you knew he was going off to Hollywood, that there was that chance he may leave with the title. And then,
Right.
like you said, as usual, they have too much TV time, and they had to overdo it. I'll say this, I think it is a huge mistake to bring back Brock Lesnar right
Thank
now.
you. Thank
That
you.
should be a WrestleMania main event and a WrestleMania storyline. Who is Paul Heyman going to side with? Lesnar, who he never really cut ties with, or Roman? Almost going back to SummerSlam 92 when they teased between Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior that Mr. Perfect had sided with one of the two of them, and he was playing mind games with both, and in the end he sided with neither, and it was just a ploy on Ric Flair's behalf. I'm not to say that they do that with this Paul Heyman, Roman, and Lesnar dynamic, but I mean, when are you going to do Lesnar and Reigns? Are you going to waste it at Extreme Rules on a B pay-per-view? Are you going to waste it on a Saudi Arabia show that's on Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon that very few people watch? I mean, even Survivor Series, I don't think that's a big enough platform for it.
It's been done, Dan, not to interrupt you. It's been done. Lesnar and Reigns has been done and
But
done
not,
and redone.
not with this coat of paint, not with this color.
Well, if they go your route with Heyman in the middle trying to make a decision, great storyline. Makes sense. But they're not going to go that route.
What do you think they're going to do? Paul E is just going to leave Lesnar cold?
I don't think Paulie's going to get involved in any way with Lesnar because the money's with the head of the table. So,
But Lesnar's been his guy since 2012 and even before that.
he ain't got the guy anymore, though. He cut ties with him, basically.
I just major thumbs down to me. And then on top of that, after the show goes off the air, Lesnar attacks Cena.
Why?
Now, why not air it on TV? If nothing else,
What was that for? Can you explain that to me?
what was it for? I have no idea.
Thank you.
You know, usually you go with the old send the fans home happy. I know John, after he recovered from his beating from Roman and his beating from Lesnar, did a little, he did a little mic work and, played his song and all that. But, I mean, if you're going to have the guy get beaten down twice, I mean, storyline-wise, he was slim pickings after losing to Roman. It only made sense that Lesnar could toss him around like fried dough, but why not use it? You know what I mean? Why let it go to waste? How many more times are you going to have the opportunity for Cena and Lesnar to even be in the same ring? Look at both of them. Both of them are very, very, at best, very, very part-time people. Why not utilize that?
I agree. Well, his last show is Madison Square Garden.
I heard they have a hell of a main event.
What is it?
It's Roman, the Usos, and Heyman against the two Mysterios, John, and you.
I'm ready. I didn't think anybody knew that. I didn't know it was out already.
I'm
getting a good payday for that
It's
one.
a six-man is the main event.
Cena's in it?
Yeah, him and the Mysterios against the whole Reigns
Head of the
family.
table?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll
And it
beat
was
him.
a good match.
They'll beat him that night.
I tell you this, if I didn't have to head out to Vegas for the cauliflower the next day, I might have made the journey down. I love MSG.
Never been there in my life.
See that, and I find that odd. I don't know why you weren't there for WrestleMania 20 when John had his big night
You have to be
defeating the
invited.
Big Show.
And I guess I'll stop at that.
Or the 2008 Royal Rumble when John made his surprise return after that injury.
You have to be invited.
Yeah. Yeah, and I tell you, the fans missed out on a lot because in that fall of 2007, when you and John and Randy Orton were involved in that vendetta, and perhaps the cowboy Bob Orton himself could have come in and ridden in on his cowboy. If your son wasn't injured at that point, there was so much more that could have been done with that crazy storyline.
I think
it's a shame he got hurt.
There was more that was going to be done, I think.
It would have been a good thing if we could have done it.
Mr.
That's all right.
Cena, yeah.
I like what I see.
I love that man.
Just don't let him bleed, that's all.
Cowboy Bob Orton.
We don't want
I
to
love
go.
you, brother.
We don't want to go that route again.
I love you.
No, the Cowboy's a great guy. We've had a lot of fun with Bob over the years. At one point, you bought Bob. You paid him off to turn on Todd Hansen and involve him in your little uprising groupings. So you and the Cowboy have had a very interesting. You and the whole Orton family have had a very interesting past. And who knows what may lay ahead in the future.
I don't think WWE is going to ring my bell.
Well, you never know.
I don't think that's going to happen.
You never know what could happen here in Boston wrestling.
Well, we'll see.
You never know.
We'll see.
You never know. I lost my complete train of thought.
We're talking
as
about
usual.
SummerSlam?
Again, we're talking about SummerSlam. We are in, I believe, segment 3, correct?
We are.
We are in segment 3. Okay, see, Johnny, I tell you, the one thing, as much as I love doing these shows, sometimes when we go the morning route, the brain isn't agreeing with the mind's mission. You know what I mean? But anyway, another one that to me, I have to say it, Johnny, and you may say hell has frozen over, but I have to agree with that individual that I really don't like all that much, that almost became a Cena. She was a guest at SummerSlam, and she was asked, they did like a red carpet or whatever it was when they were leaving, what her favorite moment of the night was, and she absolutely buried what happened to Bianca Belair, and she said, I didn't even have a favorite moment of the night, which I thought was a little bit too far, where she was a guest of WWE that night, to say that on camera to someone doing an interview with her. But I have to fully agree that, again, Bianca Belair was growing on me. I think she's a fantastic athlete. She's got great personality. There's just something about her that makes you stop what you're doing to watch. To have her lay down the way she did so quick after her big moment at WrestleMania, again, to the overpushed, disrespectful, in my opinion, Becky Lynch, was a disgrace. To have her lose in 3 seconds to Becky Lynch, and Becky's big comeback after giving birth. Now again, people, sometimes they try and slice up a sentence and create their own version of it. My reasoning is this. WWE tried to build their company around Becky Lynch in 2018, 2019 as the man. They let her main event WrestleMania 35 in New York, and the people basically left the venue depressed it was so quiet. Then on top of that, after Seth Rollins kicked the hell out of Brock Lesnar and won the championship, instead of being presented as the WWE champion, they presented him as Becky Lynch's boyfriend, castrating him in his title reign. Then at that point, business got so bad they were canceling house shows left and right. Then it came time for WrestleMania 36, which took place in a warehouse, unfortunately, instead of Raymond James Stadium, due to the virus, obviously. And then when for the, what I thought was a poor concept of Money in the Bank at Titan Towers in Stamford, Connecticut, Asuka was the first to climb to the roof to capture the briefcase. And then the next night on Raw, the big surprise was Becky came out and handed Asuka the briefcase, and inside of it wasn't a contract, but the championship belt itself. And, oh, Asuka, you can be the champion, and I'm going to go home and be the mom. So after building the company around her for 2 years, she could not have had enough respect for her peers that laid down and did jobs for her to make her look good. She could not show the respect to all the people that work in merchandising, in production, people that have to plan things 6 months to a year ahead of time. She could not have had enough respect for creative to have said, okay, it's the time in my life when I want to start a family. Can we come up with a scenario over the next couple of months to write me out? No. She shows up pregnant, doesn't put over anybody, gives Asuka a lunchbox and has Asuka scream wildly in Japanese in something that people couldn't even understand what she said. No one got over. It helped no one. Another reason why you see so often record low ratings for Monday Night Raw. Record low ratings for Monday Night Raw. Record low ratings for Monday Night Raw. Maybe if Becky Lynch went out and did business the right way, which should have been to tell WWE she wanted to have a family, which I think is a great thing. I don't think you and I will argue. There's nothing better than to have the little ones in your life. But just show the respect to the company, the same respect the company showed to you to build you up as one of its top superstars. And instead of doing business and laying down on your way out, just basically walking out. I think that was completely disrespectful and spit on every talent that did a job to turn her into the top female superstar in the company. Your thoughts?
Wow. Tell us how you really feel.
Well, I have a strong feeling about that.
I can see that. Once again, all I can say is this. In the business, and you know, you do what you're told and you say what you're told to say. So I don't think I can
Well, do you think they told her to go get pregnant while she was the champion?
Look, you know, things happen. Things happen. She's not the first one that's become pregnant. She certainly won't be the last. I just think that maybe you disagree with the way it was handled. I think it could have been handled better. I don't think it's a kick in anybody's face. I think that the fact of the matter is somebody wanted it done this way, and that's the way it's going to be done.
Well, she was pregnant. It's not like she was going to be able to have a match at that point.
I understand, but you could go in there, pregnant or not, you could still get in the ring. A clothesline, no bump that's going to injure that child, right? And bingo. 1, 2, 3. Done. She loses. That wasn't the way Vince or the writers wanted to see her go. The way that she went, I think, was totally the wrong way to do it. I have to agree with you. I don't think it did much for all those people along the road that helped her get where she is. Now to bring her back as the superstar, you know, and then to bring that
It's almost rewarding her.
Well, you know what? We all knew it was going to happen. We all knew it was coming.
Well, I didn't know she was going to be pregnant.
Well, no.
Oh, you mean her return?
Yeah,
I
her
see
return.
what you mean.
Yeah.
Now, just imagine on the flip side, if they went my route. Imagine if she said, okay, I want to go have a baby. Let's come up with a way to write Becky Lynch out for a while.
Right.
Imagine if pre-pregnancy she had a kick-ass match with Asuka, and Asuka came out of it looking like $1 million, strong 20-minute match on pay-per-view.
Big injury match.
Back and forth, and you come up with a way to lay out Becky for a while,
Right.
and ever come back looking for retribution.
Right,
There
I
you
agree.
have something of far more interest than,
I agree.
Here's your lunchbox,
Well,
Asuka. I'm going to go home and be the mom now. And nothing against Becky Lynch. I hope they have a wonderful family. My thoughts on them as human beings and a family is very different than the professional wrestling presentation of it. As far as Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch having a family, I hope they have had a wonderful experience with their child, and I hope it continues to stay that way, that they have a very happy, healthy life together. But as far as the presentation for the fans and for the company that built them, they were 110% wrong in the way they went about doing that. And I'm not going to blame Becky Lynch for the return, but they basically just took, almost like the Sheik, and spit in Bianca Belair's face, who has been there working week in, week out. To have her lose in 3 seconds as if she was nothing, I mean, come on.
To have Cena take a beat down from Roman Reigns, what's the difference? You know what?
Come on.
It's all
Well,
in the
that-
ca-
this was
but it's-
televised,
but it's all
at
in the
least.
cards. It's all in the cards. You know what?
But for even
the
someone,
check's the same whether you win or lose.
for even as someone that contributed as little good and interesting as Nikki Bella
Oh,
to
please.
job it out,
Please.
I think that says it all. For even her to agree with my thoughts on it. For
Are they
someone that-
bringing her back in? It certainly sounds that way.
she was there with the Dancing with the Stars husband, so
That's
I don't
fine.
know.
God bless them both. I have no animosity. God bless them both.
I
But
hope
you know what?
I hope I never see her in a wrestling ring again.
Thank
I know
you.
that.
I'll second that.
But for her to actually go on video and say how lousy it was,
That's
the way
awful.
that they killed Bianca Belair by propping Becky Lynch, I agree with Nikki. And you know I'm not their biggest fan.
Well, is that what she said, or she said I didn't have a favorite moment?
They said, what was your favorite moment of the night? And she goes, well, I'll tell you what my favorite moment of the night was not. Bianca Belair is, you know, I love the women. They've made her into one of the top stars, and to have her lose like that in 3 seconds, I didn't have a favorite moment at all tonight. So she's, you know, to her, and again, you know, I'm not their biggest fan, but I respected her for at least to have the integrity to share her honest feelings about it.
And I'm sure that everybody there really didn't give a damn what she said. And you know what? I'm sure that if the man in charge of talent relations brings her back, when she walks to the ring, she'll find out just exactly the kind of respect she'll get from the fans, which is, who?
You can look, but you can't touch.
No, all over, all over. And again, you know, Seth Rollins, I kind of joke and I say, how does it feel when your wife's more over than you? I'll be shut off on his Facebook.
Well, you know what? He unblocked us.
Not now.
Well, we may go back. We may be blocked again. I don't know.
I'm only kidding, Seth.
I can't knock Becky Lynch for what happened at SummerSlam. She went by creative direction.
That's the way it goes.
As far as Nikki Bella coming back, is what talent relations thinks. Look at who's in charge of talent relations.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth when you said that. Becky, you know, Becky did good. That was fine. Then when you mentioned, I just threw up. You know what?
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's done. You wanted a family. You have what you want. You've got a wonderful husband. You've got a wonderful family life.
Don't come back.
End it.
We don't want you at WrestleMania 38, and we don't want you at WrestleMania 39, which is their dream.
Maybe they'll do what they would Nora Greenwell.
No, they want to do.
Production.
I was told they want to do the Rock thing. They want to come back at WrestleMania in Dallas and win the women's tag team titles, and then they want to lose them the year after in Los Angeles, so they can go. You can look, but you can't touch.
If Vince goes along with that, I'm sorry. If Vince goes along with that, I'm sorry. And I wonder what they paid her for her appearance. She didn't do that for free.
At SummerSlam?
Yeah.
No, she was just a guest.
Oh, no.
You think she was paid to show up and bury the company?
She didn't bury the company. She did what she was told. She said what she said because she was told to say it.
No, this was a non-WWE interview. They did like they had a red carpet with all the logos and the sponsors on it.
She was at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Still part of the gimmick.
Well, I tell you this, Marjo said you can look, but you can touch. But that's a different story for a different
Not interested in
time.
Marjo. I've got Moniz. That's my baby.
All right, wrestling fans, we're running out of time this week. Still so much more to catch up upon. The good news is we'll be back next Friday night after SmackDown, and then AEW Rampage again. We're interested in your thoughts. If you're with us live, the Premier Chat box. We love to interact with you, especially if I'm up on old evil Marty Hill. I love to see what you guys have to say. The Super Chats are welcome, as well as Venmo at Boston Wrestling. Even the PayPal has been rocking. You guys are great to help us keep the lights on. Again, Sunday Night Live, we have Just Incredible with us, and we're going to be live every Sunday night, at least through mid-October. We're going to be having pay-per-view watch-alongs of current events. We're going to be having special guests in studios. We're going to have some retro pay-per-view watch-alongs. I don't know if you saw them, Johnny, but we did a SummerSlam 88 and a SummerSlam 89 retro, which was a lot of fun for the old school fans. We want to give you guys what you want. So if you want us to try and give you a place to hang out and talk and chat and type wrestling on Sunday nights, we'll be here for you if you help us keep the lights on. So this Sunday, it's Just Incredible. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Marty Jannetty will be back in studio rocking like no other man we know can rock, Johnny. Marty is in a good place from our great conversations with him. I'm looking forward to seeing my friend. There was this misconception created out of Long Island that Marty Jannetty was no longer on this show, which was never the case for even one day. You know, Marty had a bad day one day when he was here back in June. He's recovering from 2 major surgeries, and now he's 3 months further along in the recovery process. He's doing much better. We talk almost every day, so for those that look to stir a pot that doesn't need to be stirred, there's no stirring needed. But Marty is ready to rock, baby.
Then don't stir it.
And then, again, I want to note, Extreme Rules Sunday, the official weekend of our 20th anniversary, to try and help the great kids with Corners Cure. September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. Johnny shared a very sad story with me before we even went on the air. You know what? We like to do these things for the kids with all the different groups we work with. We've been Special Olympics partners since 2011, which means a great deal to me for a variety of reasons. We love to help Make-A-Wish when we can. You know, the Big Brothers, I think, is a great group. But what we're going to do on Extreme Rules Sunday, when we have the pay-per-view watch-along, we're going to be having a feast from our friends at Red Rose here in Melrose. Visit them at redrosema.com. The fans, depending upon how many raffle tickets we sell, John, are going to win anywhere from 6 to as many as 12 autographed NXT posters. A jackpot that could be worth well over $1,000 for as little as a $5 raffle ticket. Are you going to be with us? It's Corners Cure night. How can you not? If you're in the country. If you're in the country.
I'm afraid I won't be here.
Where are you? Nice, France?
I might be there. No, Nice, France. Might be doing a movie.
You might be doing a movie.
You never know where you're going to
September 26th, really?
You never know.
Well, so I guess we won't see
Argyle, you never know. That might be the thing.
We may not see you September 26th.
I don't think you will, but...
All right, well, you are extreme. At least that's what Marjo said when the lights go off. But anyway. All right, for John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Marty. We'll see you Sunday Night Live with Just Incredible. And we'll be back with this guy, baby, old Johnny Cash, the gunslinger himself, next Friday at 11 p.m. after AEW Rampage. Until we speak again, folks, you and yours be well. Stay healthy. Good night from Boston.
Thank you for joining us. Please give the video a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more great content. Don't forget, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Check out our eBay store and join the Boston Wrestling family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling so we can produce more in-depth shoot interviews.